Hey, what's up guys, it's Sibs here, the jungler for Rogue's Vainglory team, and today I'm bringing to you a guide for Glaive. So Glaive is a popular hero in NA's current meta because he's a really strong flex pick. He can be played in the lane as a weapon carry, in the jungle as weapon or a CP carry, and he can also be put in the support role, which is really useful to use as a flex pick. So his first ability, Afterburn, is a gap closer that has a lot of utility and is a really important part of his kit because when you use it and you auto somebody afterwards, they immediately get knocked backwards and briefly stunned. And as for his second ability, Twisted Stroke, it's a pretty straightforward ability. It just executes a critical strike, and it also instantly resets the auto attack that he was already executing. And as for his ultimate, it's called Blood Song, and it's a very interesting ultimate actually. So it has a max of 20 stacks, and once you get this ultimate, every stack that you have gives you 1% of lifesteal, which is really useful for weapon Glaive. Blood Song can also be used in the middle of a fight for a quick burst of damage. So as for build paths, when it comes to jungle Glaive, you usually have two options. You can either go crystal power or weapon power. It's really up to you which item path you decide to go when you're playing a game, but usually you want to base it around your laner. So if your laner is a weapon hero, then you usually want to go the crystal build, and if your laner is a CP hero, then you usually want to go the weapon build, just so it's harder for the enemies to counter build your team's damage. So when you're building crystal power, the build that I would suggest going is starting off with a Storm Crown, and then lead into the Aftershock, and then build some basic defense like light armor, light shield, and possibly even a reflex block. And then usually you want to get an Atlas to counter the enemy's laner or the enemy's weapon hero, depending on who it is. And usually you want to finish up your build with going a Broken Myth, but this is very rare that you would ever get to this point in a game. And I would always suggest that you build the Broken Myth as your last item every single time, because it is really unnecessary unless you're already full build on Glaive. When building Glaive in the weapon power path, I would suggest starting with Tension Bow, because Tension Bow is a really strong early mid-game item, and it goes very well with this kit. So if you use your Afterburn, and then you attack an enemy, and it pushes them back, that attack actually procs Tension Bow, so you get a large burst in damage while displacing the enemy at the same time. And then after building Tension Bow, I would suggest going a Heavy Steel, and then a little bit of defense like an AOKI or maybe a light armor and a light shield, and then finishing off that Heavy Steel into a Sorrow Blade, so you have a lot of burst and a lot of weapon damage throughout the mid and beginning of the late game. And then after building your Sorrow Blade, I would suggest finishing at least 1 or 2 tier 3 defensive items, and then building your last damage item as a monocle. And I would also suggest going Journey Boots instead of Chargers or War Treads, because it really helps him with his lack in mobility in the late game compared to other heroes. An important thing to do when you're playing Glaive is to always gank the lane as often as you can. This is extremely important because he's a really strong early and mid-game weapon hero, and you need to take advantage of that by punishing the enemy laner for overextension.